We're going to go YouTube. Yeah, we're going to try YouTube now. This happened last time, and then YouTube was fine. But we'll see how we go. Okay.
Good.
We're on YouTube. Yeah, so we are live on YouTube now, Erica. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to put a post up here. Okay, Erica, take 3. We're going to go again one more time, okay? This time, if this doesn't work, then I don't know. We're probably just going to have to give up and go home and try again another time. So we tried on Facebook twice. We were kicked out after 2 minutes. You didn't swear. There was no copyrights broken, so I don't know why. But Facebook aren't friends with us for some reason. But now we're live on YouTube. We're going to share this over to the Facebook page and hopefully get started. You're very welcome. Thank you for your patience. Erica Fatini, Munster kind of legend, junior national team coach. Tell us a little about yourself and your own volleyball background.
Okay, I played in Italy for 20 years, and I met quite good coaches and players during my career. Almost made it to professional. I played in a C series until I was 28 as a middle. And then when I came to Ireland, I joined Dalkey Devil first. And that's when my coaching career started, because Auntie Gilligan sent me to the coaching course in Ireland. She asked me to coach the club there. And that's how it started. Due to the working reason, I moved to Limerick the following year, and I joined Master Thunder, and happened the same. They asked me to become the coach there, and I took it. And from that moment, I took on the Master Thunder team, and I'm trying to expand it and share my passion for volleyball in the southwest of Ireland.
So the topic you want to talk about is around winning mindsets, right? So I'm kind of interested, why that topic? Why does that interest you so much?
Because volleyball is a very peculiar sport, in my opinion, because it's a non-contact sport, but people are very close to each other, because even in a match, you have 12 people in the court, 12 people outside the court, plus coaches and referee. But anyway, players speaking, you have 24 people, 12 in a court that is 9 by 18 meters, which it's a very tight space, and you have really to live together, even if you do not contact with each other, but you really have to stick together and work towards a goal. And most of the time, as coaches, we can teach technical, we can give them skills, but what we cannot change is personality. So the challenge for me as a coach, it's how do you work with different personalities when they are forced to stay. Sometimes a match can last 2 hours and a half. And those personalities, they are in the same court, less than 2 meter distance from each other. And you don't want them to fall apart. And that's, for me, that's the challenge, how to create that winning mindset that doesn't break. Because obviously you need all of them. You can't make every player the same copy of the coach, or the same copy of a player that you as a coach would like to have. You get what is given to you, and you have to try to work with it. And to me, that is the key point that makes a team special, that makes the difference when it comes to win. So that's basically what is really interesting me about it. It's just like the different psychology and how to solve the contrast within the team, because that will always happen.
Sure. Because it's an interesting point you're making there around the size of the courts. There isn't, when you see it, there isn't that many team sports where everybody is so close together, and after every point, literally every 5 or 6 seconds, the whole team comes together. So that's a really important thing, that the team are aligned with the same mindset and culture and working together.
The thing is that, as I said, being a player, I know, and you notice that you feel your teammate is next to you. If some of your teammates, they go down in morale, you will feel it. And because they are so close, it's not a football field, and you have breaks, you have times, the difference. Basketball could be the same, but basketball, it's a timed sport. So it's always up to speed. You have no real time to think or to think over the mistake, because you have that clock ticking on you, which on volleyball you don't. Just like when the ball is on the ground, you have at least the 8 seconds of the next server to go through the action and say, oh, what did I do wrong? And then one of the things that we actually say as a coach, forget it straight away. You do something, forget it. But one thing is say to forget the mistake, and one thing is actually do that.
Yeah. So so when you're coaching, then I'm kind of interested, because obviously you're still playing now, and you're coaching and you're a player coach. So I'm kind of wondering how you balance that on the court.
It's one of the most difficult things to do, is being a coach and playing at the same time, because obviously when you are in court, you have to be the player. You can't be the coach, because you have to be the teammate. But then when you are sitting on the bench, then you have to ask for respect. Then you need the people to listen to you. With me, it has been quite easy, because my experience spoke for my action. So people wanted to learn from me, and that was the best thing. The other thing that was a challenge for me, and that's when it comes to like the topic of dealing with different personalities, and that's when I got to Master Thunder. I had a team that was composed but from 30 up years old girl, the half of them that were over 30, and the other half, they were turning 18 that year. So you have a team, and they really don't have much in common. They have nothing to say to each other due to experience, age, and different culture as well, because apart the ages, just beside the age difference, then there was I had 6 Irish people and the other from all over the world.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what it comes. Try to find the individual, get to know each one of them, and push them to be themselves at their best, and try to get each other of the teammate to know and understand. Sometimes they might not share the same values. Sometimes they might not share the same goal. But as long as they understand the reason why people behave in a way instead of another, that's when things start to work. Yeah. And to me, for volleyball, this comes down a lot. What volleyball has more than the other sport, to me, is the fact that we have positions. So everybody has a role and a competence for that. What I do as a coach is try to get the right personality to their role. And example, you have the libero. Libero is a quite tough position to cover, because you don't get to spike, you don't get to serve, you have no way to score, okay? And it's difficult to find, just like imagine you want to go and play, okay? You want to score the point. Most of people, they go and join a team and just like, they want to be active.
Yeah.
Which libero is a passive role, but still one of the most important. And I call the libero the fighter because it's the person that doesn't need the spotlight, doesn't want to be seen, but still knows that the job is important. Is the one that never gives up. Is the one that give me the ball, I'll cover for you. Is the one that normally wants to protect the team. So when you get that kind of personality, a personality that doesn't mind to score the point, then you teach them how to be a libero, because you can obviously some of the players, they might not have a natural talent for that. Obviously, you still have to look for just I wouldn't put a 2 meter tall player to be a libero, because we will have a problem on speed and coordination. But obviously, within a selection of natural talent, then you go and pick the right personality, because then you will have the perfect player for that position. And then you know that player will never have a mental breakdown in court.
So I'm kind of wondering then, is the libero then the person that you would look to as a captain?
You can't have a libero as a captain, because the libero goes out when the 2 middles are in. So the libero can't be a captain. And to be honest, I never understood this one. I will have to look into the books, because you actually can put a middle as a captain, which middle goes out for more time than the libero when is in the backcourt. But by rules, a libero can't be a captain. I think Italy last year wanted to have the national team, the Italian national team wanted to put the libero as a captain, and they weren't allowed to. So no, you can't. It will be a strong figure, because obviously is the one. When we say as coach, the libero is the captain of the backcourt. It's just like if the coach is not there, just like the captain doesn't mind, the libero is in charge of the backcourt, all the back line. It's up to the libero to decide how to cover, how to receive. When you train a libero properly, then you don't even have to give him indication. He'll know what to do. And yes, and normally what you will look most of the team as a captain, that would be the setter.
Yeah.
Because that's the other personality that shouldn't have ups and downs. Because it touches every second ball. So you need a very steady personality. And again, the setter, it's the player that really likes to play. It's not there to score. The setter is a giver. It's somebody, I think I told you in the email, there is a drill, especially when you have a group of beginner or young people as well. And it's very good when you don't know what position they will cover. So you bring a group of kids together, you give them the ball, you don't tell them anything, you just put them in court and you give them one ball each, and you wait for 10 minutes, you just observe, you don't give them indication, and you will see that you will have kids that will start going on the net, try to spike the ball, or you will have kids that will try to bounce the ball by themselves. And there is always a couple of kids that will drop their ball and try to go to another one to play together.
Yeah.
That kind of personality is the personality you look into when you look for a setter. Is the one that drops the ball. I don't mind about my ball, but I want to play with you. So that is the thing that will tell you straight away that's gonna be a good setter. Again, you have to watch out for the hands, for going up in higher level. Obviously, there's a height requirement to be a setter. The natural talent has to be there. But
Yeah.
what we are doing here in Ireland, we are not there yet. We are not going to make a selection, at least in the clubs. We take whoever we have and we try to share the sport because it's beautiful. So the most important thing to me is that everybody is comfortable with the position they play in. Because the first thing that you will see in a team when things start going wrong, somebody playing in a position they don't fit for. And that's when it comes the important thing. And the kind of observation part of let them play and see how they behave, that's actually very good for a coach to observe and see, okay, we have that, we have the other thing.
So, okay. So I see that. So, personal in an ideal world, your key positions, your setter and your libero, personality is potentially more important for those positions than the technical abilities compared to other positions on the court. Would you say?
No, it's not about importance. They are two roles that they're fundamental for the play to go in, but they're not the two roles that are gonna make it. Just like they will make a team, and there's no importance in order to win a game, okay? Because a libero can defend, the ball can never fall in the ground, the setter can give perfect set, but if you don't have the offender, if you don't have somebody that can close the ball on the other side, you're still left with nothing. That's why you need all the personalities. You go to middle and opposite. There will be they have the killer instinct. Those are people they normally have no empathy. And I'm sorry for the middle and opposite in the word, but they shouldn't have either. Because when they go up and when they spike, because their job mostly is about spiking and blocking, they have to go and kill. They can't go soft. And especially that's another side effect of psychology, okay? Human beings, they are trained to, we are told by society how to spot sadness, how to spot somebody that is not happy. And if we are causing that, we feel guilty about it. So when you are playing volleyball and your enemy is actually in front of you, when you are net to net to the other team, and there's 1 meter, 2 meter distance between two players, okay? So you can see all the emotion, all the expression. And some people guilt reacts on the winning team. You will see many times in volleyball where there is a team that is technically stronger and somehow they go down.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's due to that fact, because they see the expression and reaction on the other team and they feel guilty about it. Opposite and middle, they shouldn't feel this. Opposite and middle, when they score the point, they need one more. They want more, and if somebody on the other side is unhappy, they should be even happier. Basically.
So yeah. Look, that makes sense. So I'm kind of, in my head, I'm thinking around, to have the perfect team, you need all these different personalities. Your libero is very selfless and a team player, doesn't like the limelight. Your setter is very calm and controlled. Your middles and your wings are the killers, right? So so different personalities, does that make keeping team harmony easier? Or because people are so different, does it make it harder to keep, 6, 8, 10, a squad of 12 players together and going towards the same goal?
Obviously, it's harder because people choose team sport to be around people like them, just like alike. We want, again, that's a human thing. We want to be around people similar to us. Okay, there's obviously if somebody is different, that will create a conflict, and that's the most difficult part, because this sport requires, in order to win, so many different character, personality, and behavior. the most difficult part is to keep them together. Because, because obviously conflict, especially on highest level when everybody is actually very good, then you have to keep everybody on the same page. And that should be anyway, because the other thing in volleyball is there shouldn't be a star. You should have no hero on the court. Because if you have one person that the team relies to and all the ball they get to the same person, first, you are exhausting somebody physically. And second, the other 5 players relax because they can trust one player. So if you want to grow a team, and if you go especially in the junior section, if you want to grow the skills all together, you never make a champion. As a coach, you will never make a champion because all the others otherwise will rely on that person and they will stop their improvement when they are in court. Obviously, you need a strong personality, you need a captain, but in general, yes, it's not easy. And what I say normally, it's the only thing that keeps people together is to have a common goal. Because even different personality, if they have a common goal, they will stick together.
So on that then, Erica, the importance of a common goal, say you're halfway through a season and your goal is to win the championship, and that's not going to happen. You've lost too many games, or you had the aim of winning the cup, say, and you're knocked out at the quarterfinal stage. How do you keep that team harmony? Do you have to reset? Do you set another goal? Or how do you...
The common mistake for me, and especially on unprofessional level, because when you speak with professional, yes, they set these kind of goals. We want to win the Champions League. We want to win the National League, and they work day and night towards that goal. But those are people paid to play, so they already that's their job. So you have to set up goal, because in everyday job we do have goals to match. We have targets, but when you work with non-professional players, okay, winning, it can't be the only goal. Now I know these seminars about creating a winning mindset, but it's an ultimate meaning of winning. Normally what I want to achieve, and sometimes you see a team that loses maybe 3-2 on a tiebreak, but due to the fact that might be the underdog in that case is the one that nobody would believe that actually would even make it there. Sometimes you see that the team that lost actually celebrating more than the team that actually won. And it's not setting up the winning as a goal. It's setting up how to get to the point that even if we lose, but we know we did our best and we gave everything we had, we will be happy. That's the ultimate meaning of winning for me, because that doesn't matter the bare results of what that was, or the gold medal or the silver medal. It happened to us with Master Thunder when last year, because we were in Division 1 and we attended the cup. We managed to get to the final of the Shield, and we went playing against UCD. I think you were there. That was it
was a great match.
That was quite an interesting game, because we arrived, and UCD, I don't remember last year, they finished 3rd or 2nd in Premier League. So we were first in Division 1, but there was still a big gap. And we went there, tried to do our best. We ended up we were winning 2-0, and we ended up losing 3-2. I think I've never celebrated so much in my life, because the achievement we had, it was massive. And it was hard, because losing 3-2 when you were winning 2-0, and you actually, you felt it, we felt it, we had it at some point. But obviously the opponent woke up at some point and things that didn't go as planned. But the achievement we had that game, and for us was unbelievable, because we knew we did our best, and that's what I try to achieve with all the team I have. I try to achieve a sense of family, because especially when you have those different personality, it works like a family. You will never like each component of your family, God knows, just like nobody. Just like I don't know if it does exist a perfect family, but in my experience it doesn't. So, but it is your family, so you kind of keep up with them, because you, at least in Italy, we have a very profound sense of it. So you stick to each other because you're blood. I try to create the same kind of mentality and environment when I go into a team or a club, because it is important. We are all different, but we are all part of the same group. It's gonna be, we are gonna spend time together. We are gonna share our passion together, and we have to make it work. So when there are then technical drills to do, and one thing is, while as a coaches, and that's a tip for coaches, when you are doing trainings during training sessions, I'm not speaking about warm-up, pre-game, make sure that the player in your court, when you do exercise in pair, they're never on the same pair, because obviously you will have the two, they are best friends and they always want to stick together. As a coach, we have to make everybody work with anybody else, so they get to know each other and they get to understand their movement, their reaction. It arrives a point where complicity is so intense within a team that if somebody moves a shoulder or a hand, you know what they are gonna do. And that's what you try to achieve. The difference on warm-up, so pre-match, is that you have to put your players before every match in their best condition ever, in their best mood, in the most comfortable mood that will allow them to perform. So when it comes to pre-match, let them go with their favorite teammate, because that will just uplift they will lift them up, basically, their spirit, and that's it. But during the training, just be careful of not having always the same pair.
Yeah, nice tip. Oh, question before I get to them, I just wanted to go back a little bit, because it was, when you're talking about the Munster Thunder UCD game, there's a few things coming up, celebrating the success, and really the key message was celebrate performance rather than outcome. So, I mean, I think particularly, when you're developing young players, focus on the performance rather than the outcome, because look, a ball drops out by an inch or hits the top of the net band, or, for whatever reason, winning or losing is a very fine margin, but you can control the performance and what you put in. And that's kind of been a theme from all the webinars and all the Q&As we've done with players over the last few weeks, is like control the controllables, worry about things that you can control, and focus on your performance rather than the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. But that's most of the time you have good players and they just don't perform because they're thinking too much. And especially when they are young. And we had, I'm not going to make names there, but we had actually our last match we played with the youngers of Division 2. That's what I said. You don't make a star, you don't make a hero, because especially when they are young, they feel the pressure as well. So you don't want them to go in a loop of feeling responsible for the team. And I was called to take out the captain, which was quite a difficult choice. We weren't winning and everything, but I knew that that this player was thinking too much. And I said, look, yes, at the moment you're the best player we have, because technically speaking, experience, but let the team, you don't have to feel responsible for the team. There's 5 other people. You shouldn't be the only one worrying about the performance and the result. And that's when the magic happened, because the 6 people then left without a captain, they starting bit by bit doing their job, because they had nobody to rely on anymore. So they started getting the responsibility, and they start achieve and improve. Now, we didn't win that set, but it was quite incredible because they catch up a lot and they showed me good volleyball. One of the things at any level, when I see things that are not working, I normally call timeout, and I tell to my team, I don't care if we win or we lose, but I really want to see good volleyball, because that is what I'm teaching you at training. And even if sometimes you have a team that is playing volleyball and is playing against a team that is not just like they don't show a good volleyball by meaning, but they are effective. Sometimes happens. Sometimes you have weird touches. They are so unpredictable that they actually are so effective because you don't realize how the ball is coming back to you. And I always say, don't worry, I don't want to see you winning, and I don't want to see you winning against this kind of team. I want you to play volleyball, because that's the beauty of it. That there is an inner beauty inside this sport, just of looking at the movement. When you get the perfect movement, you might not get to score because on the other side somebody's going to defend. But to me, it's amazing just to see a perfect movement. When I see a perfect set or a perfect spike, I'm delighted. I don't really look at the scoreboard.
Sure. A couple of questions coming in. So the first one here from Ian Gilbert, who is an Irish coach. He's over in Spain at the moment. And I'm asking this one because you were talking about when you took the captain out. Just that, so it's kind of apt. So he's talking about the importance of the right captain, and in terms of the captain's role in setting the right positive mindset for the rest of the team. How important is that, and is there a particular thing you look for in a captain?
Yes, actually the captain, and I didn't cover that. When I pick a captain, I pick something that normally doesn't like me. I don't pick my best friend, because we have to improve ourselves too. And you need somebody that is gonna always challenge us to be better, because at the end of the day, we both are on the same page. We both want the team to achieve and to perform. So we know we are working towards the same goal. But the fact that that person might not like me, that will help me, and will help me to question myself. Because if I make a wrong move, I will have that person coming to me and say, why did you do that? I think this is better. And then I start balancing things. Obviously, I'm not saying that this person hates me or doesn't want me there. Normally, it's a person that has a great personality, not afraid of challenging the coach, and but good team spirits. Just there is sometimes when you explain to a captain, and I'm speaking about older people now, because when it comes to younger player, is different. Because obviously younger player, they still have to learn that.
Sure. Okay.
But on the older player, yes, I would go that the importance of the captain is vital. And believe me, I've been a captain of the same team for 7 years, and there was very high fight between me and my coach. We are in good relationship now. We go to party together, but back then there was some sparks. Yes.
That doesn't surprise me, Erica. You know, there's a great show about American football on Netflix. Don't ask me what it's called. But in it, the coach is his job is to coach this high school American football team, right? And his phrase is, hate me now, love me later, you know?
Yeah.
So, when you grow up in 10, 15 years time, you look back and then you'll realize actually what I was doing was in your best interests. That's kind of an interesting phrase. We have a couple of questions, some great questions coming in here. Siobhan Tully is asking, what do you do if you see a player on court becoming anxious? Perhaps they've missed the last few shots, maybe the confidence is low. What advice would you give coaches to help that player?
I give them a different target. I give them a different task. It happened to me, I had a player that normally she's very strong on serve, and she couldn't make a serve over the net that day. Don't ask me why, I don't know the reason. So I called the player and I said, look, I don't want you to get the ball on court. There was a basketball, a basket for the basketball court up high in the ceiling. And I told her, just go to the 9-meter line and aim to that basket. It might go out, because if you're aimed to the basket and you reach the basket, we're completely out the court. But I don't care. When you go to the 9-meter line, just stand up, look at that basket, is the only thing you want to, that you aim to. And that's how I do it. I might a completely stupid, irrational target thing to do, but that will keep the mind off of what they are doing at the moment, and off what is going wrong, because they're focusing on putting the ball in court or in the right player. So when things go wrong, you just change their mind, their attitude towards the problem. You give them, just like, the court is not the problem. Now the problem is to spike on the basket. Actually, eventually she managed to get the ball over the net, obviously.
So the idea then is to kind of reset the targets, or get back to basics, or just kind of clear your mind and try and start again.
Yeah, when things go really, really bad, I obviously call time out and I say, girls, just like, you know how to do a pass, you know how to set, you know how to spike. I don't need your best pass, I don't need your best spike, I don't need your best set. I just need you to just go back to your body, know your body, which is important, know your movement, and try to work on your personal perform then, because then instead of worrying about what is surrounding you, you have to go back of thinking of what you know and what you can do good, and move on bit by bit. When things can go very wrong, sometimes I even remove most of the players of the main six, just most of the team, they do have a main six. I'm not afraid of take them all out the court, put all the bench in, because normally that's the other important thing, bench is important. Just like there is main six, and because obviously we all have that, but you have 12 players and they're all important, and you will be surprised of how one player from the bench will change a match sometimes. Yeah. Because they've been sitting there, there's some personality, they've been sitting there, they die to play, and the moment you put them in, they might not be as skilled yet as the others, but they're so eager to play that they make the difference. So using the bench is another thing. It's very important. Not being afraid of changing somebody in the court.
Vinny is asking, what's been your kind of biggest, I suppose, coaching challenges or issues perhaps since you've moved to Ireland and started your coaching career?
My biggest challenge was, I think I said that before, it was trying to trying to make a team out of people that were completely different background, different approach to volleyball, because especially for me, working with Irish and people coming from Poland, Eastern Europe, Italy, Brazil, we do share in Europe the same approach, because we start when we are young, and even if it's not our profession, we will train 3-4 times a week, 2 hours after school, and we'll go back there, try to improve ourselves. It will be the only sport we do as well. Just like we are more focused, goal oriented, which here in Ireland, we have kids that play everything, which is good because it's giving them different option and talent. But on the other side, they don't put the same effort, passion in one thing. So when you see people coming from abroad and they have to adapt to this mentality, and we have people from Ireland that just like it, especially for we had older people coming from abroad with strong personalities, and they were obviously getting a bit annoyed when the younger people that weren't putting the same effort, because when we were young in our countries, shouldn't be say that, but we were kind of bullied about it. Just like we had to do it. It's when I was 16, I started playing on the D series, which is the fourth down. And I was playing with people that were 30, 32. And I was at their disposal. They made me stronger. And that's what we are used to. So when we got older and we see maybe that those kids that don't have the same approach, that will be easier to give up than fight back. We get frustrated, but just because we come from different backgrounds. So that was my main challenge, how to work out this personality and this different of age together. After 3 years, I got all the original players of Master Thunderback playing, and that was my main actually satisfaction. Because I actually had one player that stopped playing for different reason the first year I started, but that player came back this year, and we are all delighted.
Yeah, great. I'm kind of, when I was doing a bit of reading, Erica, before this interview, and one of the definitions of mindset, right, is mindset is your mental outlook and how it helps you and how it can potentially hinder your performance when you're in competition, right? So I'm then kind of wondering, obviously we're coming at this from a coaching perspective. So did you ever have a coach growing up that really affected your mindset positively, or perhaps even one that affected your mindset negatively?
I'd say positively, definitely yes, and that'll be be awkward on that, because since I'm 16, 15, I've always been in the main six myself. Because I was never taken off for court in the where I was playing. But 1 year, this Peruvian Olympic player that was coaching, she started with the club, and they had a goal to go from a lower series to B series in 4 years' time. So they were planning to win 4 championships 1 year after the other, starting from talent and potential and arriving to the professional. And they did. So they called this coach, very experienced Olympic player. She played the Olympics in '88 with Peru. And she called me as part of the project. But she called me and say, look, Eric, I know you very well. We used to do kind of a summer camp together. I was helping out. Because I know you very well. I know how you behave in court, but obviously due to natural, so my height, my speed, just like you won't make it till the professional. And at the moment, I have more talented girl for the main six, but I really want you to be part of the team because you will be a great helper during training. So I was paid in my previous club, just like pocket money, but I was still paid. When she arrived with this proposal and said, I'm not gonna give you money, I'm not gonna give you the court, I'm just gonna give you all my knowledge. And I said yes. I went there because I just wanted to be trained by her. I put foot in court for one set over the year, and we were playing actually twice a week because we were playing in the league and in the cup. So we had 2 matches a week, and I went on court only for one set because one player had a car accident. and
Yeah.
she couldn't make it. She arrived late, and I went in on the first set. And that was my best year of volleyball, because in that year I understood how valuable it is to have a full team of 13, 14 players, that they all work together to the same goal, and how it's important to sometimes step back. Because you've always been important, but sometimes it's nice to sit down and watch and learn, and not to be that fundamental, but still feel part of the team. That's probably the year where I learned the most, even kind of psychologically and mindset. Negatively, that's the other side of the medal. When you get too close, and when you are in a team for so long, and you all know each other so well by heart, and different thing in your life happens, and some conflict start. I had, as I said, I had sparks with a coach, and we arrived at a point that we couldn't even stand each other, and it was painful. It was painful because he was too proud to make the first step. And I didn't, it arrived at a point that I didn't respect him that much, because he wasn't taking consideration all the previous year that we worked together. So there was really a moment where we didn't know what to stand, and even the team didn't know where to stand, because we were a whole family. So that was negative, because I thought, and I could have done, but I was younger back then, and just thinking back, I could have done the first step myself. But I still think that a coach, now being a coach myself, when you have that situation, it should be up to the coach to do that first step to make things better. Just like to make, look, things are not right now, but they will be. Take your time. I'll take my time. We'll work it out. Might not happen straight away, but I think that is what, when things go wrong and there is a conflict in the team, that's where a coach should do the first step.
Okay, you've mentioned a few times this evening about the importance of a sense of family in a club, and it's kind of got me kind of reflecting on my own kind of teams I've played in various sports, and I do, recognize that when you have a really close knit team, you train harder. You're more committed when you play. It improves your performance when you're the really kind of close knit group.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is there any advice that you would give to coaches? Any practical advice that they can use to maybe develop this sense of unity or this sense of family in their own teams?
Oh yeah, there are plenty of drills that will help out during the training. So always set up drills that involve 3 or 4 players and interchangeable. Sometimes set up a drill that involves on round all the players in your team. I do have a drill that I call butterfly, because it involves all the player, and it works on a crossword. So people, they have to go across with the ball and then exchange position. So there are plenty of team drills, and that will help out of the situation. But another thing is just, I wouldn't say to a coach to be the best friend of your team, but kind of help the team, just like set up even outside the court social activities, really. Even going out for dinner. Just for us, coming from Italy, after every match we were going out. So after the first 2 months, just you don't have your friends anymore, because you train 4 times a week, you have a match on the weekend, so you don't even see your own friends anymore, you just see your teammates. I wouldn't say to arrive to that point, but it is very important to find a way to interact between the teammates outside outside the outside the court as well. That's important. Most of the thing can be done in court, but the bonding is mostly done actually out the court, or organizing camps, volleyball camps. So where you put is not just 2-hour trainings, but you just like go 1 week living together. Then you're very glad to come back home because then you're sick of it. But it actually does help.
It creates that bond, sure. We have a couple of questions coming in here. I'll just bring them up here. So Annie is asking, how important is it that, and this is a club development question really, obviously links to what we're discussing, but how important is it that Premier and Division 1 teams in particular have youth teams within their club?
That's the thing. I'm kind of in a conflict about the junior team because we need to improve our coaching skills altogether. Because some club they don't have coaches, and I'll be quite kind of worried, or just like trained to have a junior team and maybe have a coach that just had the grade 3 course with no experience and have a group of young players to deal with, because it's risky. Just like when I went for my first coaching course, they asked me, will you ever train juniors? And I said, no way, just straight away, no way, because I was afraid of not being able to. It's such a delicate moment. So when I started this year, it was already after 3 years coaching in Ireland, and then I started as a second coach, just like as an assistant coach for Johnny with the under 17. And when I had the girls and they were all under 18, and I said, oh look, I might be able to do it. It's just like I might know now. I have the right experience. I've gone through a lot, and I might be able to deliver this project. So inside the club, to me, it's a bit risky, but I will really be happy if the clubs will partner with a school. If people from the club will partner with the school and with the PE teacher there. We have these things with Ennis. Now, Ennis has been, Colashtamur and Ennis for us, it has been a great help because there's loads of players coming from there. Teresa, she's doing a great job, and as well as Jack and the PE teacher there, that just they really work to make volleyball happening in Ireland. And I go there whenever I can to do technical session once in a while, just to give them that thing of, oh, there's something happening, that we do have some people coming at training. Now I can't commit because obviously I have the club, but I will advise clubs to go in the school, speak with PE teacher, and maybe have some volleyball session and train the PE teacher, because those are qualified people to deal with a young group of players. They studied for that. What I'm afraid of a club having juniors, just starting, having all clubs having junior in the club, we are not actually trained to be professor or teacher. Or some of us, they probably are, but I think that we need to be careful there. So yes, for club perspective and to improve volleyball in Ireland, I rather prefer to start from the school though.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting. It's something we'll be chatting about next Thursday. We're doing a club development webinar specifically on developing youth sections, where we'll be talking about school club links, but also the supports that will be available for clubs that are establishing youth sections. And I think the coach education piece is something that we've kind of been discussing a lot recently, and with a few people around, what supports we need to provide on top of your standard kind of level 1, level 2, level 3 coaching courses. The other stuff that, how to engage with parents, or how to set up a youth session and deal with registrations, what paperwork do you need ticked off, things like that are all important, but sometimes isn't necessarily in a formal course. So looking forward to that next Thursday. I think it's 8 p.m, but check the webinar page on the website, guys, if anyone's watching and is interested. Couple more questions, Erica, and then we'll wrap up. Vinny is asking, one of your first experiences as a national coach in Ireland was with the under-17s girls to Denmark. What did you take as the most important lessons, and what did you learn from that trip?
That trip was that was amazing and scary at the same time. What I learned from the girls. I learned from the girls because they show me character. They never had. There were a couple of mental breakdowns, but not as a team. It was like they weren't there to be the winner of that competition. We were hoping at least for a positive result that didn't come, but they never went down, and that was because I think all of the environment we created around them. So they surprised me because as a player, and you face somebody that you're not even the underdog anymore. It's just like you really know those are a different planet. Just like we are not that close. We don't see those teams just working completely two parallel way at the moment. And they went there and they were proud of the flag they were representing, and they did their best. And I remember one day that kind of a bit low, but not that much. And I took them out. We took them out, and we did a sort of post talking about the match, how it went. And to me, it was like, look, girls, we have another match to play. Forget about it. And I took a piece of paper and I put it down on the table, and I said, just write what your worst fear is. Just write your worst fear about tomorrow. That's the last match. Write your worst fear. So everybody puts what they were afraid of, and most of them, obviously being so young, they were afraid of committing mistakes. So it was about their performance, their own performance. I asked the adult to do the same. What I put down myself, it was just like, my worst fear is not having fun. At the end of it, I took that paper. Now I didn't have any match. I would have burned it out, but we destroyed it. And I said, look, girls, those were your fear. Just like push them aside, enjoy the game. And they did it. They really did. They enjoyed the whole aspect. And as the question was coming for Vinny, yes, when we went out to have a beer on the on the last night, yes, that was a good moment too.
I get the impression Vinny was kind of leading on to something like that. So look, Erica. Oh, sorry, just a comment coming in. Jack from the school there in Ennis is thanking you very much for kind of all you've done, making a huge difference there going into the school. So he sends his regards. Just going to wrap up with, we kind of ask everyone this question at the end. If there was one piece of advice that you could give to a coach who's maybe looking to develop, on this topic, looking to develop positive mindsets within their team, what advice would that be? I know we've talked the last hour and you've given loads of information and loads of content.
To a coach?
What would be one nugget of advice that you share?
Trust your team.
Trust your team.
Trust your team. Yes, that's the advice, is trust your team. Yeah.
Perfect. 3 words, done and dusted. Erica Fatini, trust your team. Guys, thank you for tuning in again for the latest in our webinar series. Something that people are getting a lot from, a lot of comments coming in, thanking everyone that is stepping up to the plate and entering the hot seat. So if anyone's out there that would like to do a talk or Q&A on a certain topic, let us know. I think the more information we can share can only be beneficial. Next week, we have Tom Landers from Newbridge, who'll be talking about long-term player development and the importance of fundamental movement skills at a young age and how that can impact development going forward. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have the club development session next Thursday as well. Erica, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. And
thank you so much. That was very nice and easier than I thought.
Perfect. Cheers, Erica. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.